Hey guys, welcome to Seed Tuesday. So, I got a treat for y'all. So, today's Seed Tuesday is so much pressure. First of all, let me tell y'all what happened to me today. So, before I go into that, it used to be a while ago when my kids were little, or when they got out of my house. I'm gonna just say that when they got their own place. But as when the kids grew up, they knew that every single Saturday, um, my husband and I, we had chores for them. Every Saturday morning before they ate breakfast, they already knew when they heard that music come on, I would play my music, whatever genre I'm feeling for that day. I would play my music, and they already knew that it's time for them to get up, brush their teeth, wash their face, put on some clothes, and it's time to clean before you eat. Like, that's how I was raised. So you got to clean up and do your chores before it's time for you to eat. You're not going to die. But, anyways, and they knew one of the chores that they had to do, they had to dust, right? I made sure that they dusted the furniture every single Saturday. They had their time as to when and what they had to dust. And when they dusted, guess what? I wanted to be able to see my reflection in whatever that furniture was that they dusted. Put a pin in that. So I was riding down the road this morning, and I was talking to the Lord. And one of the things that I told him this morning, or I said to him, I wasn't complaining now. I said, Lord, how much pressure? Like, Lord, how much pressure? I said, Lord, I'm not complaining, but I need to know how much pressure do you have to apply to me? Because I think I'm all pressed out. And you know what God told me? He says, Monica, I'm refining you. And I said, okay, I know you talking parables and all, but that caused me to dig on. I need to find my answer, like how much, Lord, because I was satisfied, but I wasn't technically, I wanted to put a timeline on it, right? Let me tell you what God, let me tell you what God showed me, right? Yeah, it's funny, but I'm going to help free somebody because this actually freed me on today. And I'm grateful for it. So I'm going to share it with y'all. So it's three scriptures. Malachi chapter 3, verse 3. Y'all can go back and read it for yourself. But it talked about um, the refiner's fire, which is our Father, Jesus, right? Isaiah chapter 48, verse 10, it talked about us as followers of Christ being tested um, like silver in the furnace, of affliction. Um, so uh, there's another scripture. Actually, in that scripture, it talked about, um, oh my gosh, it said something about silver, testing us like silver. So I was like, what does a silversmith do? Like, what does he mean, like, tested us like silver? So what they do is they take a piece of metal, they put it in intense heat, like under intense fire, right? But the silversmith knows that the heat that they apply, I mean, it's for, I don't know how long that they apply this heat for, but it's for a while. They apply the heat for a while, right? But the person that's doing the refining with the metal, the silversmith, they know exactly when to let up on the fire. They know exactly when to um like ease the fire or stop the fire, because if they don't, they know that it's going to destroy the metal, right? Also, there's a part in that process where impurities rise to the top, where they take and they scrape off the impurities. So I said, Jesus the refiner, we are in the fire because we're being tested and tried, right? And I said the impurities, which is our bad habits, it's the sin, things that God don't desire for us, he desires to remove from our life. And God was telling me in that, when I was getting my information, he was saying, Monica, where I'm taking you, the sin or those bad habits that you have, you can't take that where you're going. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to sin again, but it just says those bad habits that I'm trying to break from you, that I'm trying to separate from you, you can't take that where you're going. And what I realize is God knows our expected end. He knows what we have need of. He knows what we need to take with us and what we don't need to take with us. So I said, good Lord, do I have that much sin? Do I have that many bad habits? And some of y'all may be laughing, but I was like, I mean, these were really real life questions that I was asking God. I was like, God, do I have that much sin? And we just have to know that when, as believers of Christ, as followers of Christ, of Jesus Christ, we are going to be tested. We're going to be tried. And we have to go through the fire, y'all. And I got another scripture. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13, and it talked about us, God knowing how much we can take. We can take it. He knows when to let up the fire. He knows when it's time. He knows, because he knows that this fire that he has upon you is not going to destroy you. It's just like the silversmith that I talked about. It's not going to destroy you. It's not going to kill you. So I was like, okay, God, you're not going to kill me. You know how much I can take. And it doesn't feel like I can take anymore. It feels like I've superseded all that I have to give. But God is saying, no, you have more. And there's some things that I desire to separate from you. There's some things where I'm taking you. You can't take that sin. You can't take those bad habits that you have. You have to break away. And I know how much fire to put upon you. I know when to let up on this fire, because why? I'm God. I'm God all by myself, and I know exactly what I'm doing. So I said, okay, God, I trust you. Okay, God, I'm in the fire. But let me tell you what you're going to get, and I'm going to let y'all go. We are going to get, while we're in the fire, when we come out, we're going to have spiritual growth, y'all. We're not going to stay the same. We're going to be transformed. We're going to be transformed, guys. We're going to be transformed when we come out of the fire. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to be back in the fire again, because all throughout life on this side of the Jordan, we're going to have times where God's going to say, okay, I'm going to apply some more heat. He has to go through the refining process. She has to go through the refining process again, because there's another level I desire for you to go. So we're going to keep growing, y'all. God does not desire for us to stay the same. So remember that part I told you about my kids dusting? God desires, and I wanted to see the reflection of myself. God desires to see the reflection of himself in us. Ooh, I hope that hit you hard, because it sure hit me. God desires to see the reflection of himself in us. And one day, I don't know when that day is, when he either cracks the sky or we leave here first. It doesn't matter, but because we're going to be with him. He's coming back for his bridegroom, which is us. So he's going to look and see the reflection of himself in us and say, well done, thy good and faithful servant, because we're his, right? He has to see himself because we're his children, right? So expect to go through the fire. Expect to go through the refining process. That doesn't mean it's just going to be once in your life. I feel like this is the first time I've been through the refining process, y'all. I don't know, but this is like, it's a lot of pressure that's being applied. But know that the pressure that's applied is for the greater good. And it's going to be spiritual growth, and you're going to be transformed. So you're not going to look the same. You're not going to respond the same. Some of those habits that you had, you're not taking where you're going. So yeah, I hope this helped someone on today. I love y'all. That's what I got for today's Seed Tuesday. Until we meet again, y'all have an amazing day. Y'all take care.